wiggling. So, hi, good afternoon, good evening. I've been asked to make some videos to help everyone out with this transition. So the first video I am making is on how to access Microsoft Teams. So your student or child should first log into their student portal. They would do that by going to dateschools.net and students. And once they're in, they'll know it's theirs. Their name will be on the upper right hand corner. And as they scroll down, they will have this orange little button. It says Office 365 there. To click that, they can click yes or no on the stay logged in. Sometimes it will ask them to log in. If it does, their login is their student number with the @ symbol, and then the word students with an S at the end, a dot, Dade schools with an S at the end, a dot, and then NET is their email address, and then their password is their date of birth with their initials in lowercase, just as it is for the portal. Once they're logged in, it'll take them to this screen, which I like to call the dashboard. On the dashboard, they will click on Teams, which will then, sorry, I have all these bars open, so let's close them out so as not to get everybody confused. Then it will open up like this. It does take some time if everyone's trying to log in at once. And they will have their classes on the side. For me, let's say it was my homeroom, so my homeroom is AM for me, so Fernandez AM would click on Fernandez AM. And then over on this side, they would click on assignments. So under assignments, by date, I have everything listed that we've done. So let's talk about Monday. On Monday, which was 3:30, I submitted their pre-read and chapter 1 and 2 information. And their view will look like this. It'll say that there's no points attached and that this is what they need to do. I tried to give them step-by-step directions in the hopes that they would understand. And on the bottom in reference materials, I put a copy of the book for them for free, a PDF, which they need to be reading. One chapter, yesterday and today. Yesterday was chapter 1, today was chapter 2. And then down here, I put their work. So you'll see it says student work. And what they can do is they can click it and it might open, but the easiest way is click here and you hit open in Word. Now, once it opens in Word, I believe I already had it open, so let me close that out. I apologize. Once it opens in Word, it'll look like this. And I'll have a place for them to put their name and their homeroom. And so I just wrote Miss Rich and Rich's homeroom and number 10. And then I scroll down. So this tells them, and this was the anticipation, meaning the pre-read. So before they read, they were supposed to do this page. And this page says, if your parents do something to make you angry, you should talk to them about it. Secrets should not be told. And then you're going to put an A if you agree or a D if you disagree. All they need to do here is put that A or D or whatever. A wild animal will not bother you unless you bother it. Feeling sorry for yourself doesn't help at all. Things like that. Okay, so you get the gist of it. Then they scroll down. This part was difficult. So I'm going to make a second video to this, which is going to called, I guess I'm going to call it labeling pictures. You'll see that mine is labeled over here, and that's because I went up here to insert, and then I did shapes. Let me see if you can see me. Insert shapes, and I picked the arrow. And then I just clicked it to whatever I wanted to click at. So this is a propeller. So if I put it here, then I would take the word propeller and I would highlight it. I would right click and copy. And then again, I would go back to that insert button. And this time I would go over to text box. I would pick simple. It'll give me a really big box here. And then all you do is you grab it with your mouse, move it to where you want. My kids should know to click here and click with shape, formatting with shape. And then they should also know, if they go in here and now they right click and paste, the word propeller will appear there. They can grab the handlers and shrink it, and then they can grab that and put it right where the, oops, did I make it too little? There you go. Right where the arrow will be, so I know that that's the propeller. Now, I'm not saying this is easy, and it's really just more so for them to have an idea so that when they read, they understand what the Cessna looked like, they understand what the cockpit looked like, they understand what Brian was looking at when he was stuck in the air and he was alone. So is this for a grade? No. Is this for them to work on? Sure. If this is too much, right, they can just put little text boxes and write what it is on top of it, or they can print it out and draw on it, however they like, right? It's just, again, for practice and familiarity of the words. And if they didn't know what the things were, I gave them 2 links down here. This one takes you to everything about the plane, and this one takes you to everything about the cockpit. All right, moving on. The next thing they had to do was just the vocabulary, which is actually for chapters 1 and 2. So I gave them vocabulary in a box. I told them what page the word could be found on so that they could use context clues. And then I'm giving you a freebie for the first word. It was audible, right? So all they're going to do is come in here. I'm even going to give you the second one. I use my blank to find the correct direction. So it should be compass. So if they write compass on the line and then they delete this line, they move their arrows. And then I've taught my kids that if they shift and hover over, whether they use the mouse or the arrow key, then they go up here and they can click bold and underline. And now they have their answer. Okay? If they want to eliminate the words because it makes it easier for them, if they click the whole word and, pardon me, if they click the whole little area they want and they right click, there is, when they go to the font, there is an option here that's called strike through. And if they click it and they click OK, it crosses out the word for them. So they know that they've already used it, and then they won't be prone to trying to use it twice. Again, highlight, right click, font, strike through. Okay, and there it is. So audible and compass were both used. And now they need to answer the rest of the 12. Not all the words will be used. Once they're done with that, they were supposed to work on this today. After listening to the YouTube video where I read to them chapter 1 and them reading chapter 1 on their own, they can now answer these questions. The important part is the text evidence. So when it asks, why was Brian traveling in a bush plane? The answer, and I will give you the answers in a minute, for this one is Brian was going to visit his dad for the summer. And I put the lines because I thought kids were going to write. And now that I think about it, they probably don't even need the lines. So if they want to get rid of the lines, all they really have to do is highlight that whole block. And then they go right up here and they do outside border. Oopsies. Did I do it wrong? I did. I apologize. They do. Let me highlight the whole thing, otherwise it's not going to work. And I want no inside, so it's supposed to be outside border. I don't know. It went away. They could just type there and then, well, I guess when they're done, just put the borders back. But just so that it's the outside border. There it is. And I guess I took this one out, so I need to put that one back. Okay. So they could just do that if it's easier, or they could just type. It doesn't matter. however they like. If once they're typing, this starts to get them like confused, they can also right click and I could have done it that way too. Right click like this and then merge cells. So this way it's just one big cell. See? That might be easier for them. So tomorrow my goal is I'm going to actually post the other video that's going to answer these questions. And then I'm going to start asking kids if they have questions, what they didn't understand, so I can help them make sure they understand how to answer these questions. Some of them are very thought-provoking questions, and some of them are easier. My kids will know the difference between the two as they answer them. Let me merge this for them. All right. So as you see, it's really not difficult. It's just a matter of... I was thinking about the writing component, and I wasn't thinking about the component of it being on a computer. All right, so there it is. And then this will be for chapter 2. You'll see that right there. And that one they'll do after they hear the surprise guest who's going to read for them on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. And you will also see that they have an extra credit. I'm going to try and attach these at the end of some of the units or chapters so that the children can accumulate some points. Some of them will be higher order thinking questions because extra credit's supposed to be difficult. And what they'll do is they'll just answer this here. So, you know, basically just come in and type whatever they want to type. When they're done, the first thing they need to do is they'll notice that it says that it's saving at the top. Some kids will have an auto save. Some kids will only have the actual save button. Please have them go file, have them go save as or save a copy. And they should know how to do this because I did teach them this. In the square here, all they need to do is they need to write their name. So again, making pretend I am Miss Rich, I would write Rich and her number. Let's say Rich is 10. And then they could leave the rest the same. Now here's the catch. When they go to save it, they want to go here and click on their OneDrive. They're not going to have all these fancy folders, but that's where they would save it. And then once it's saved, you'll see that the actual document will change in name to Rich 10 Hatchet. That's how they know they've saved their work. And then they also know when they're all done, meaning all the way down with the extra credit, with chapters 2 and chapters 1, and everything is filled in, then they're going to click that share button. And as the share button populates, they're going to share it with me. So they're going to go here and they're going to put B, Fernandez-Rossi, and they have to put both my last names because unfortunately, Fernandez is a common last name. They'd pick me and then they'd hit send and I'd get it. That's one way to submit their work. Another way to submit their work is just simply, because they've done it on Microsoft Office and they, excuse me, pardon me, it would still be, it would still be here. So every time they click here, it'll open up with their responses. Let me show you what I mean. So now if I open here and I scroll down, you'll see that Rich is in there. And you'll see that the A's that we did together are here. And you'll see that propeller that we did together is here. It automatically saves here. So when the kids are done, what they do is they just share it by hitting submit at the top where it says turn in. Okay? My view says close. Of course, it doesn't say turn in. But that's how it would work. And then I know that they've turned it in because it'll say, for me, when I look at the kids, whether they viewed it and whether they turned it in. Like I have a child here, Sophia, who has already turned hers in. So if I click on it and I go here, you'll see that I can see her paper. It opens up. You see her name. You see she's my homeroom. But she's not complete. So she just turned it in, but I think she didn't understand it. And that's okay. She did do her questions though. Look, very cool. Very, very cool. Very proud of her. So again, once the kids turn it in, it immediately comes to me, and then I would give them feedback here, and they would work on it again if they needed to improve something, etc. Well, I hope that helps everybody. I look forward to happy learning. And remember, we're still not done with this school year. We have a lot to learn, but let's learn together. And if you ever get stuck, I'm here to help. So is Miss Rich. So is Miss Kermish. We are a team. So 5th grade, can't wait to see you. Please stay safe. Love you.